Hey guys, welcome to your tutorial on how to install Kali Linux on Oracle VirtualBox version 5.0.14. This should work for any earlier versions as well. However, it is highly recommended just for the sake of this tutorial that you update your VirtualBox to the latest version. So let's get started with this. The first thing you need to do after you've installed VirtualBox Manager and open it is click New. Give your VirtualBox machine any name you want. So you can use Kali, be Linux, change it to the type of Linux, and change it to other Linux 64-bit. Now the memory size, they say it's recommended as 512. I try not to be stingy with it. I try to give it at least 2 gigs of RAM. Next, then you have to create a new virtual hard drive. And you can use either VDI or VMDK. It's good to use VMDK because you can use this with VMware as well as VirtualBox. So you can it's more portable that way. The created image, and you can use it dynamically allocated if you want to speed things up a little. You can use fixed size, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we'll just use the default settings. And the recommended storage size is usually 4 times the installation size of the operating system. In this case, Kali is usually about 8 to 9 gigs, so we'd give it like probably around 32 gigs of space. That should be good enough. Create, and before you power it on, there are a couple of things that you need to do. So right click on Kali, go to settings. After this window pops up, go to your network, and you'll see that this is the adapter that you're choosing is NAT. This is going to cause problems later on. I'll tell you why. But first thing you need to do is just change it to a bridge adapter. And go to advanced, and the promiscuous mode you can use allow all. This is good if you're going to be using your Kali Linux for applications such as Wireshark for network sniffing. So this is required for that. Click OK. Then go to settings again. Under display, I give it the maximum video memory that it can allow and hit enable 3D acceleration. Okay, and over here in storage, go click empty and click the CD-ROM icon over here, and over here choose virtual optical disk file. I have mine under the ISO images. That's where I stored the Kali Linux installation image. So double click that. Hit OK. Go to settings once more, and now you just need to configure the boot priority. So you put optical first, followed by hard drive, and you can do multiple core processing on this. Um, let's give it 3 processors. Why not? Hit OK, and now you're finally ready to actually install Kali Linux. So click start. This window should pop up. So go down with the keyboard to graphical install, hit enter. Let it run for a bit. And then you should get this screen. So English, continue. I'm living in Canada, so I'll go continue on Canada. Keyboard, American English is fine. Detect and mount CD-ROM. This should be done automatically since we already specified earlier where to get the Kali Linux installation disk ISO image from. So this part shouldn't take too long. Okay, there we go. Please enter a host name for this. You can name it any host name that you want. For this, we'll just call it Kali 1.0. Root password, you can give it any password that you want. Eastern is fine. For this purpose, you can use guided. If you are an advanced, you can use the manual, but for the purpose of this particular tutorial, we're going to use the guided partition method for installation. Hit continue. This is the hard disk that we chose earlier, the 32, 34 gig hard drive. So click on that. It should be highlighted by default. Click continue. All files in one partition, continue. Finish partitioning, continue. Write changes to the disk. Click yes. Hit continue. Now it's gonna install Kali Linux and copy the data to your disk. This might take some time, so grab a cup of coffee or a glass of water, what have you, and come back within like maybe 5-10 minutes. So I'm gonna let this run, and I'll get back to you once this finishes. Alright guys, so once Kali finishes rebooting, you should get this screen right here. After the startup screen from the grub boot menu where you select either Kali or Advanced. I chose Advanced and hit enter there. And you should get this screen right here. So for username, we just use root and the password that we specified earlier. So there we have it, a perfectly live, fully functional version of Kali. The next tutorial that I'm gonna look at, we're gonna look at together, is gonna cover the how to install guest editions in Kali. And just to make sure that we do have full connectivity to the internet, which we need to perform apt-get update, just go to ping www.google.ca. Ah, oh, yeah, that's, oh god, oh, okay, same problem here. Kali does this sometimes, which is kind of annoying. It takes a little bit of time to pick up the first ping, and then it should be fine. But if you hadn't done the bridge server, the bridge adapter in the beginning, where we were setting the network settings in the GUI here, if you hadn't chosen the first adapter as bridged and you chose that instead, there is an easy fix for that. So when you open up the terminal, just type gedit /etc/resolve.conf, hit enter. This right here, this file should pop up. In the name server, instead of 192.168.2.1, you can specify 8.8.8, which is the Google DNS server. Control save and exit. And now it should be resolving with the proper host name for Google. It's the same thing really, but the only thing with that is that you would need to do that by default. When you boot into Kali Linux, that's the first thing you would need to do. But with Bridged, you don't necessarily need to do that. So thank you so much for joining me guys on this tutorial, and on the next tutorial we're just gonna pick this up from right here, and we're gonna look at how to install guest editions, because right now if we maximize everything, you're just gonna get this minimized window with like low resolution, possible lag. You don't want that to happen. So what guest edition does is not only fix the video resolution and removes all the lag, but also allows you to copy files and directories to and from your host machine. So that's it for now. If you have any problems, just leave them below. I'll try to answer as best as I can. Hopefully you found this tutorial to be useful, and I'll see you next time.